If your words do not command silence, they are worthless. In this world, you are either obeyed or dismissed. Most speak to be liked, but the powerful speak to be feared, respected, and remembered. In this lesson, I will show you how to turn your tongue into a weapon, sharp, deliberate, and lethal in silence or speech. In every court, boardroom, or gathering of men, there are two types of speakers: those who control the room and those who are barely heard. Respect is not begged for. It is engineered. The wise man does not reveal his soul with every word, nor dilute his presence with excessive charm. He speaks with purpose, conceals intent, and lets silence echo louder than praise. I am Was Machiavelli, and what you are about to learn is not how to speak nicely, but how to speak powerfully, so that no man ever dares to interrupt you, and every room learns to listen before you even open your mouth. They talk too much. You've seen them, in meetings, in friendships, in power struggles. Men who speak endlessly, thinking noise equals influence. But here's the true thing: the one who speaks least often holds the most power. Why? Because silence is tension. Silence is mystery. And mystery is control. The crowd listens to the one they don't fully understand. The leader who measures his words, who pauses before speaking, who lets silence hang thick in the air, that is the man others instinctively obey. Let me ask you this: when a king enters a room, does he need to shout? No, his silence speaks for him. It commands more than noise ever could. In ancient Rome, the general Fabius Maximus became infamous not for charging into battle, but for refusing to engage. He let his enemies speak with swords. While he mastered the art of silence in strategy, the people mocked him. The delayer, they called him. But his restraint broke Hannibal's momentum. In time, the people feared his patience more than any impulsive fury. Understand this: when you speak, you reveal. But when you wait, others expose themselves. The impulse to talk is a weakness. It reveals insecurity, a desperate need to be seen, heard, validated. But those who are secure in their position, their mind, their game, they can afford to remain silent. A silent man in a loud room becomes the gravitational center. Others lean in. They speculate. They fill in the blanks with fear, respect, or curiosity, all far more powerful than certainty. Silence invites projection, and in projection, you become larger than life. Modern psychology confirms what rulers have always known: people fear ambiguity. They cannot stand not knowing what you're thinking. So, when you remain silent, they begin to interpret your silence as strength, wisdom, even menace. You never told them you were powerful. They decided you were. This is the silent man's advantage. While others waste breath proving themselves, he lets others assume the truth. And assumptions, when left unchallenged, become reality. Now consider this in daily life. You walk into a negotiation. Your opponent floods the air with talk, rushing to justify, explain, convince. You say nothing. You observe. You nod. And when you do speak, it's calculated, calm, unrushed. Each word lands with the weight of 10. Because you didn't compete for attention. You waited for it to be handed to you. This is the art of speaking like a sovereign, not a servant. In Renaissance courts, the most dangerous figures were never the loudest. It was the man in the corner, silent, watching, collecting information while others wasted theirs. That you feared, because when he finally spoke it was always decisive. Ask yourself, why are you speaking? Is it to lead minds or to soothe your own? Most people speak to escape discomfort. The silence feels unbearable, so they fill it with noise. But leaders, true ones, create that discomfort. They make others squirm in the vacuum. They weaponize pause, and pause is more powerful than punch. There's a reason a lion stares before it strikes. It is not indecision. It is psychological warfare. Use it. When someone challenges you, don't rush to defend. Go quiet. Let their words hang alone in the air. Let their aggression echo without validation. Often, the silence will break them, not you. The human brain is a pattern-seeking machine. When you break the rhythm, when you pause instead of respond, they notice. And they adapt. They become cautious. They begin to tread lightly around your presence. You did not raise your voice. You raised your value. In this age of constant noise, silence is a rare commodity. And whatever is rarer is valuable. Was the precious. Dangerous. That's what you must become. Speak with the gravity of someone whose silence is more unsettling than another man's anger. Speak with the aura of someone who doesn't need to speak at all. Because the man who needs nothing controls everything. So train yourself. Next time you feel the urge to fill the silence, don't. Let it stretch. Let them lean in. Let them break first. You are not the jester here to entertain. You are the architect of influence. The master of the room does not perform. He presides. And sometimes he says nothing at all. When he finally speaks, the world falls silent. Now let's talk about the second weapon in your arsenal. The tongue, sharpened not for truth, but for control. The art of speaking not to connect, but to conquer. What is the purpose of your words? Are they to comfort, to please, to be liked? If so, you are already defeated. Words are not gifts to be handed out like coins to the crowd. They are weapons, crafted, sharp, and deadly. A leader does not waste breath on empty kindness or idle chatter. He speaks to control, to direct, and to dominate. Ask yourself, when was the last time a ruler won a battle with sweetness alone? No, victory is seized with cold calculation. Consider the great Cesare Borgia. Feared across Italy not because he was gentle, but because every word he spoke cut through the noise like a blade. His speeches were not for friendship, they were commands. His compliments, strategic, his threats veiled but clear. He knew well that, to sway a mind, you must first disarm it. Words are not comfort. They are tools of conquest. Look closely at every great manipulator in history. Their power was not in what they said, but how they said it, and why. Napoleon, though not of our time, understood this deeply. His rhetoric was brutal in its precision. He didn't lull his troops with false hope. He struck fear and inspiration simultaneously. His speeches were carefully measured missiles, designed to force obedience and ignite fanaticism, not friendship. Do you speak like Napoleon, or like a beggar pleading for favor? There is a lesson in every phrase you utter. Each word either builds a throne or shatters it. Powerful speech isolates, not includes. It divides, not unites. It places you above the crowd, not among it. Consider the phrase, I think, versus it is decided. One invites debate, weakness, and doubt. The other commands obedience. Your words are your armor. Do not soften them to make others comfortable. That is weakness dressed in civility. Look at the Roman Senate, where orators ruled by the sword of speech. Cicero was admired not for his warmth, but for his lethal wit and ability to crush opponents with a few pointed sentences. Every word was a calculated strike, every pause a trap. Do you craft your speech with such deadly intent? Most speak to be liked, but the truly powerful speak to be feared. Fear is respect's shadow, and respect, once lost, is rarely regained. Your tongue must be a blade, not a balm. How often do you fall into the trap of flattery, of needless apologies, of weak explanations? They are poisons, not salves. Remember Cardinal Richelieu, who wielded influence over France through manipulation and speech. He flattered kings, whispered poison in ears, and veiled threats in the silk of diplomacy. His words were never honest. They were useful. When you speak, what do you intend? To reveal your soul, or to reveal your strategy? There is a reason masters of manipulation never speak plainly. They speak ambiguously. They offer truth wrapped in lies, lies cloaked in truth. Their words create confusion, so others are left guessing. And guessing means hesitation, and hesitation means advantage. You want control. Start by controlling your words. Speak clearly, but never completely. Give them enough to think they understand, but never the whole picture. Let your words be a puzzle others cannot solve, a labyrinth where only you hold the thread. The most dangerous leaders are those who speak just enough. Too much, and you lose power. Too little, and you invite challenge. Find the balance, and you hold the keys to influence. But beware, words misused become chains. The man who speaks too freely binds himself. His intentions are seen, his weaknesses exposed. Do you want to be bound? Or do you want to wield freedom? The freedom of one who controls not just actions, but thoughts. Speak like a master of war, not a man of peace. Your words must break wills, beg knees, and forge allegiance. They must leave no room for doubt, no space for rebellion. Because when your words fail in this, you have already lost the war for respect. And in the war for respect, there are no second chances. Now ask yourself, are your words your strongest weapon or your greatest liability? The next lesson will teach you how to speak without feeling, how to detach your voice from your heart, and transform your tone into an unbreakable shield of command. Prepare to learn the coldest lesson of all, how to wield emotion like a mask. And not a master. Your voice is not your truth. It is your empire. Choose carefully how you build it. Emotions betray. They twist words, cloud judgment, and shatter control. Ask yourself, how often have you spoken in anger only to regret it? How many times has fear forced your tongue to stumble, or desire made you reveal more than you intended? The man who masters respect must first master himself. Emotion is not a guide. It is a leash. The wise ruler does not wear his heart on his sleeve. He hides it beneath a mask of calm calculation, revealing only what serves his purpose. Consider the greatest commanders of history. Did Julius Caesar roar with passion before crossing the Rubicon? No. His voice was steady, his demeanor unreadable. His soldiers followed not a man consumed by emotion, but a general exciting confidence and cold resolve. Emotional detachment is not absence of feeling. It is the art of control. You must ask, do you control your emotions, or do they control you? A leader who allows anger to dictate his words is no leader at all. He is a slave to impulse. Take the case of King Henry II. His outbursts, his rage-driven decisions. How many alliances did he ruin? How many lives did he destroy? Power squandered in emotional storms. Contrast him with Queen Elizabeth I. Her composure legendary. Even in crises, she maintained a steady voice, a poker face that concealed every calculation. Her speeches inspired, yet her personal passions never betrayed her strategy. Do you understand the power of a calm voice in a storm? It silences chaos. It commands obedience. Psychologically, humans are wired to follow strength. And strength is often perceived as control over oneself. When you remain composed while others unravel, you appear invincible. That appearance, more than any sword, secures loyalty. Imagine a court divided by whispers and suspicion. The prince storms in, face flushed, voice raised. The court fractures further. Now imagine the prince entering calmly, voice even, expression unreadable. The court holds its breath. Which prince rules? One who loses control is prey. One who commands control becomes predator. Do you want to be hunted or hunter? Detachment allows you to observe without interference. You see the cracks in your opponent's facade, the subtle shifts in alliances, the unspoken fears. While others act on emotion, you act on information. Emotions cloud perception, detachment clarifies it. But be warned, detachment does not mean coldness without purpose. The lie. It is not cruelty for cruelty's sake, but a tool to sharpen your will. Consider Machiavelli's own counsel: to be loved and feared is ideal. But if you cannot have both, fear must be your weapon. Fear is born not of rage, but of steady, unyielding command. Fear respects silence, control, and resolve. Emotions spark rebellion, detachment extinguishes it. You must become a fortress, walls impenetrable, gates unmoved by storms of feeling. In the boardroom, in the council, in every battle of words and wills, your composure signals power. When others panic, you decide. When others argue, you listen. When others rage, you strike. Have you noticed how rarely the calmest man loses? Because power is not won by passion. It is maintained by discipline. Let me ask you, how often do you let passion dictate your tone? How often does anger slip into your voice? How often do you reveal too much in moments of vulnerability? Every slip is a crack in your armor, but mastery lies in masking vulnerability so well, none can detect it. Not even yourself. When you feel the fire rise, breathe deep. Speak slowly. Measure your words as if they were coins to be spent wisely. Do you see now why silence is your ally and emotion your enemy? Leaders do not react, they respond. They do not reveal, they conceal. Their emotions serve their purpose, not the other way around. You will never command respect by wearing your heart openly. It must be cloaked, and that cloak is made of detachment. Now, a word of warning. Detachment without understanding is coldness without power. You must know your own emotions. What drives you? What tempts you? Only then can you master them. To ignore them is to be blind. To master them is to see all. This is the ultimate test of leadership: to stand amidst chaos unmoved. To speak without passion, but with power. To listen without judgment, but with intent. You will be feared not for your cruelty, but for your unshakable calm. Because calm is strength, and strength commands respect. But the next lesson will reveal how to hide your true intentions beneath the mask of your words. How to create the illusion of transparency while controlling every perception. Prepare yourself to learn the art of the invisible blade, the illusion that will make you untouchable. Your power lies not in what you feel, but in what you choose to reveal. Are you ready to become the master of masks? Do you believe that showing your true self earns respect? That honesty is the path to power? If so, you are deceived. The greatest leaders never reveal all. They speak clearly, but never completely. Transparency is a weapon, when wielded with precision, but naive openness. It is a sword that cuts your own throat. Why? Because when men think they see the whole picture, they believe they understand you, and understanding breeds predictability. Predictability is weakness. Consider the art of war. The general who reveals his plan in full loses before battle begins. The one who shrouds his moves in fog controls the field. Do you want to be predictable or unpredictable? Look at Queen Elizabeth I. Her speeches appeared clear, her intentions seemed transparent. Yet behind her carefully chosen words, entire wars were won and lost, alliances built and broken, all while she kept her true plans hidden beneath layers of rhetoric and charm. She understood this truthing. Let others think they grasp your purpose, while you navigate the tides they cannot see. Humans crave certainty. They seek patterns, explanations, and motives. When you let them believe they have found these in you, they become complacent. They lower their guard. You want to keep them guessing. History is littered with the ruins of men who revealed too much. Consider Richard II, a king notorious for his cunning, but ultimately undone by too many enemies who thought they knew him. His straightforward cruelty made him predictable, and predictability made him vulnerable. Contrast that with the enigmatic figure of the Venetian Doge, known for secrecy and subtlety. The Doges ruled through layers of deception, revealing parts of themselves only when it served their purpose. You see, power thrives in the unseen. In psychological terms, this is the power of ambiguity. Ambiguity keeps others off balance. It forces them to guess. And guessing invites mistakes. Your words must be like a veil. Thin enough to entice, thick enough to conceal. Do you understand how dangerous it is to lay your cards bare? When you reveal your true feelings, your full strategy, your raw intentions, you hand over control. Do not be the man who broadcasts his thoughts on a street corner, hoping for applause. Instead, be the man who whispers to a trusted few, while others strain to hear. Illusion is your ally. Transparency, your tool. This is not deceit for its own sake. It is a necessary performance, a dance of shadows and light. How many times have you been burned who seemed honest and open, only to discover a hidden dagger in their smile? Every act of openness must be calculated. Reveal enough to build trust, but never so much that trust becomes a weapon against you. This is the balance you must strike. Even silence is a kind of transparency, a calculated one. When you refuse to reveal, you force others to speculate. And speculation can be shaped, controlled, and manipulated. Consider the Venetian diplomat Girolamo Prioli, who mastered the art of saying much and meaning little. His reports to the Doge were filled with half-truths and elegant vagueness, ensuring that enemies and allies alike remained uncertain and unable to act decisively against Venice. Your speech must be the same, rich with implication, but poor in full disclosure. You want your enemies to see shadows, not substance. You want your allies to see opportunity, not certainty. If you can master this illusion, you hold the strings. You create the narrative. You control the game. This is how the powerful win wars without swords and control kingdoms without armies. How often do you let your true intentions slip? How often do you believe others when they claim to be transparent and honest? Beware those who offer you full truth. There is always a trap beneath, because the ultimate power lies not in revealing your cards, but in making others believe they've seen your hand while you hold the winning cards close. This is the invisible fortress of leadership. The man who controls perception controls reality, and reality bends to those who master illusion. Now, as you prepare to wield this power, remember, the greatest leaders are actors on a stage, their words scripts designed to guide the audience's thoughts, their silences cues to shift attention. Your next lesson will unveil how to cloak your true intentions beneath your speech, how to craft an identity that misleads enemies and dazzles allies alike. The stage is set. The curtain rises. Are you ready to become the master of masks, the ruler of shadows, and the unseen hand that moves all? Power is a shadow play. Control is the art of invisible strings. You do not command with force alone. You command when others believe they choose. To rule without being seen to rule. This is the true mastery. Have you ever led a crowd that never knew they followed? Have you ever spoken so softly that your voice echoed like thunder in their minds? This is the silent dominion of the wise. The world bows not to those who shout, but to those who make others think they decide. Remember, the greatest power is the power of illusion. The hand that moves unseen holds the throne. Now, tell me, how will you wield this dark art? Comment your thoughts below. Subscribe to sharpen your mind with Ruthless strategy. Share this knowledge with those who dare to lead. Do not be heard, be remembered, because power belongs to the silent architect of destiny.